Hi, DJ.
Hello, how are you?
I'm I'm gonna be honest, I'm feeling a little rough today.
Oh yeah, you still
Um
sick?
yeah, no, I'm not sick, but last night my 40-year-old ass decided, listen, I'm like working through some things, okay? I'm like deconstructing um the
Sure.
way I was raised in modesty culture and so last night I decided to be a go-go dancer at a club for the
Nice,
first time ever. And
nice.
it was a blast. I had a blast, but I am hurting today. I
Yeah.
feel right here and right now like I might want to die, and I might actually. But last night was fun.
Yeah, this is a
Yeah.
great podcast to be on if you're gonna die.
Oh, I was like, to be a go-go dancer? Sure. Yeah, no,
Oh yeah, yeah.
to die. Yeah.
Die from Go-Go.
Oh,
Death by Go-Go. Man, that sounds like a Rob Zombie movie.
it does. Yep.
Yeah.
I bet there's some people who would sign up for that actually. Death by
Yeah.
go-go. So,
Yeah.
yeah, how are you, DJ?
I'm great. I'm great. Hanging out. Fall's here. It is October 1st. Um
When
Fields
we're
are
recording, who knows when it's coming out, but yeah.
yeah, yeah, we should just go ahead and put them out. Fuck them.
All right. I had the same thought, so I'm glad we're on the same.
Not fuck them, but fuck it. Excuse me.
Yeah.
Yeah, do it. Let's do it.
Okay.
Two in a bag. That's good.
That's good enough.
That's good enough for
Let's
me.
call it.
Yeah, yeah. I'm not out here. This one thing is like, of course, like, yeah, I'm on a couple of podcasts and do a couple other things, and then we're about to get on the road and stuff again. And people are like, well, like, how do you deal with that? I'm just like, I don't. I want people. I want to be able to. I love for people to enjoy things, but like, it'll come out. We'll do it, or we won't. You know what I'm saying? And like, we'll go on living and being happy and fucking go dancing and growing stuff and like, I have no pressure. I have no pressure. Like my ability to not to like want to be like at fucking point zero with like zero identity, zero self, zero like just like a fucking leaf in the fucking breeze. Yeah, yeah, I'm working on it. That's what I'm working on, the deconstruction of complete ego annihilation. And I'm doing pretty good.
It sounds like you're well on your way.
Yeah,
Good. Good for you. That almost
yeah.
sounds a little bit like you're describing disassociation, but is that the same
No,
thing?
I do that. I do that. I used to do that, but that's a totally different thing. That's a
Oh,
totally different thing. Like when you're dissociative or when I'm dissociative, um, oh wow, that's a that's it's almost like plugging into a reality that's an alternative reality and not the absence of reality, if anybody can dig that.
oh. Well, maybe I've been doing that. I don't know.
Plugging into an alternative than the absence of.
Yeah, I don't know. I'm not sure. I've definitely
Yeah,
been doing something.
yeah. Yeah, it takes a
Well,
long time. It takes a long time to work through trauma. Years. And then you keep on accruing it. You know what I mean? So
God,
it's like, oh wow, just from being alive.
in this fucking
Oh
economy, for sure. Yeah.
yeah, for sure.
Well, welcome back, everybody, to episode 02 of Life and Death and Dirt.
Yeah.
I'm Rosie. I'm a
I'm
nurse, but now
DJ.
I just want to be a go-go dancer. This is DJ. He's done a lot of things in his life, and he just wants to be a leaf that has no awareness, I think.
Yeah,
You said?
yeah.
Yeah.
I just want to ride the breeze, man. But not in a frou-frou way, just in a way that like you don't even like you might see it and not even really just be like, I don't know. At least it's not aware, an unaware leaf. Are leaves
Yeah.
aware? Hey, you know what? This is uh a
They might
great
be.
yeah, they're totally aware. Yeah, of course they
Yeah.
are. Of course they are.
Oh my God, I'm going to start spiraling if we start talking about sentient vegetation.
Well, shit.
Um,
I mean, I think that's a good segue into what we're talking about today.
What are we talking about today, DJ?
I thought we were talking about soil versus dirt, but I might be wrong. And our end of life plans.
Yes, thank you for reminding me of that part. Yes, soil versus dirt. So DJ and I both have gotten very hyperfixated into gardening. And when you do that uh, in a homesteading type of style, a lot of people are starting to understand that the health of the soil is really important. And our modern farming practices do not take into account the health of the soil.
Mm-mm.
Correct.
Correct. Correct at all. Or the you know, and just to be clear to everyone out there, uh, soil is alive. It has a living ecosystem inside of it, and it can be manufactured. Like you can make soil, building it from its very smallest like molecule into a full healthy living organism. And that's wild, right? By just
Hmm.
using like some leaf mold, some brown sugar, and a little bit of salt and stuff, and letting it cook. Just basically, you could build soil, you could build a living ecosystem that will help plants thrive. Dirt, on the other hand, is dead.
Hmm.
As I understand it, you might have a different understanding of it.
No, that's the
Okay.
same as what I
Yeah.
understand. Yep. Yeah.
Yeah.
So dirt is a component of soil. So
Mm-hmm.
soil is a uh, I can't think of the word, but it's a mixture of many, many different components that are some are dead, a lot are alive. If you have healthy soil, a lot of it is alive, like fungus and bacteria,
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
and bugs and microbes. And dirt is, I think, what is it?
Well, I was
Different
basically,
minerals,
yeah, it's like a
sand.
minerals. Like here's I was this is what it was really cool. Is like dirt is what you get on your hands and on your clothes,
Hmm.
and soil is like the building the building block, the nutrients in the full the living ecosystem of what's in the ground. And
Yeah.
that's how I understood it.
Yeah, same. And I was thinking about like another way to describe it to people. The reason we're focusing on this because DJ and I only learned in the last couple of years that there's a
Yeah,
difference between dirt and soil. And
right,
I think a lot of people who maybe haven't gardened or are just starting to get into it don't understand that. So
right.
soil is like if you went out to a wooded area and you started digging in the woods and there's all that really good, like it's moist and it's dark
You
and
can
it's
smell
moist.
it. You
Yeah.
can
Yeah. It looks really healthy. That's soil. There's bugs in it. There's little
mm-hmm,
pieces of fungus in it. And then dirt would be like if you went out to a dirt driveway. And if you dug
right,
into a driveway and you tried to plant a plant there, that plant would die because it doesn't have the nutrients and the ecosystem of the soil to make it thrive.
right.
So that's another way to think of the difference.
Yeah. Yeah, for sure, for sure. And that's exciting. Like that was so exciting to me because like I remember being a kid and seeing people who had they would have dirt for sale, and it's like filler dirt. You know what I mean? But I always thought that was so funny. But then I realized like there's definitely when you're building like certain structures and stuff like that, especially in construction or like what you said, a driveway, a any kind of like, they do put dirt and like different types of gardens or like stone stuff and like stuff like that. Anyway, I always thought it was so funny. And then you see soil, people selling soil and like be like, what? Like, what
Mhm.
are people like? What are these idiots out here buying this for? Then you realize, oh, here's somebody has built like a strong foundation for like life. You know what I mean? And when you're gardening, you want that strong, like you got to have that strong foundation. Like, and the stronger and the more alive that ecosystem is, and the more than like when you put those seeds inside of it, the more you're going to get out of it. Especially if it doesn't have any chemicals in it, like that, miracle grows. It's so scary, you know. It's not really soil. It's not really anything. It's like chemicals and fucking. It's like it's weird. Somebody way smarter than me can break that down for people, but like that's as far as I know about that. About
That's about as far
miracles.
as I know as well. We could definitely have we've got some friends of the pod and friends of
Yeah.
friends in real life who could explain that better. Probably Slob. He does a lot of really interesting
Yes, that'd be a great
gardening. He's very
person.
knowledgeable. Yeah. So
Mhm.
let's invite him on soon.
For sure.
Um, so there's another thing I wanted to talk about with how just I just recently learned the difference between dirt and soil. Also, I don't know about you, but when I was in the public school system in America, for some reason, it was in my mind that plants make all of their food from photosynthesis. Like we learned
Yes.
about photosynthesis. And so I thought,
Hmm.
yeah, they just need the sun. I didn't
Yeah.
realize, no, that's one of the ways that they make food, but they need a healthy, nourished soil that they can also draw up nutrients from.
Yeah.
But in my mind, it was like, yeah, plants make all their food from the sun. It's called photosynthesis. And I just thought that was 100% how they grew.
Yeah. And then you go like, well, once at the very second that you start putting that you put that seed in that soil, then those seeds start to feed on those nutrients and take the nutrients out of that soil, and that's why it needs watering and fertilization and things like that. You don't realize like what like a a real a real testament to life, like how you are like feeding it and feeding life, and like it's mind blowing. Like it is one of my favorite things to see. Like my okra is still giving, and it's crazy, and I don't know how.
Oh, I was just thinking about your okra the other day that you made up in that fryer. Oh, it was so good. Anyway, yeah,
Yeah,
I was
yeah.
thinking about it.
Nice, nice. Yeah, yeah. Man, air fryer, Instant Pot, dude, I'm telling you, like it changed the game so much. As long as you've got a place where you have like electricity or like a generator, dude, you can eat good. It's like it's no more of that slave. Even though I do like a good wood fire to but we haven't done one of those in a while. Anyways, yeah. It's so wild that like being able to fertilize your soil, watch your plants grow. All you're feeding it. It's feeding the environment and then feeding you, which is going back. It's so wild. We use Nessie's litter to her manure to make fertilizer out. We make a lot of fertilizer out of her stuff. And it's so crazy, like feeding her a tomato or us eating a tomato and then like just watching that. Yeah, I trip out on it for hours, dude. I just think it's so beautiful. It's I don't know. I don't know. We're probably not teaching anybody anything. I'm just swooning over my goat poop that's inside me right now, running through my veins.
Swoon away, swoon away. That's wonderful.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think that well, what you're describing, and I could see it on your face too, because you're like truly smiling when you talk about this.
Yeah,
Is
yeah, yeah, yeah.
it sounds like you've kind of stepped back into the ecosystem, and
Yes.
somebody on TikTok, this young like Gen Z person on TikTok, blew my mind when she was talking about how as humans, I mean, this is something that she read in a book, but she was like, as humans, we've been kind of like disengaged from the ecosystem. So we see ourselves as outside or on top of this ecosystem that's taking place, the ecosystem of the earth
Mm-hmm.
that kind of takes place. And then we see ourselves as like not a part of that, but just like outside of it or dominating it.
Mm-hmm.
She's like, that's not what we've evolved to do. We are a part of the ecosystem, but modern society modern life has led us to look at it in a different way. And it
Oh,
sounds like,
absolutely.
and so that's making us really depressed because we're like disconnected from the system that we should be
Well, it's
connected
crazy.
to.
It's crazy to me because like on the rare occasion that I have to go into a city now,
Ugh.
I notice the amount of like the lack of shape. It's all squares. But when I walk through my yard, there's nothing in a square. There's nothing, everything
Uh-huh.
spirals, everything looks and everything looks alien, and it does because we grew up in the land of squares. You know what I mean? In the land of like rectangles and like sharp edges and like this very brutal metallic. Which though some plants, like if you look on the inside of a sunflower, especially as it's blooming and it starts to turn
Mhm.
open. Oh my God, man, it's the most alien thing ever. It's like, and it feels alien, it feels foreign, and of course it does, because we are the people of the squares.
Right. And growing up, if you're not growing your own sunflowers, if you go to get
Right.
sunflower seeds, you go into a square store and you buy them in a
Yeah,
square little
hey, square
package.
bag.
And
Yeah, yeah,
yeah,
yeah. Square
yeah,
plastic bag.
yeah.
And it's just like it's just the amount of shape and color that's in nature, especially right now. I mean, like, I don't know if you can tell, but it's definitely getting
Beautiful.
fall around this motherfucker, and it's just like you just want to die every day. I wouldn't trade it for the fucking world, man. I'll
You
never
want to
go back.
die? You'll
No,
never,
I'll never go back to the city. I'll
they'll
never
never
live in
take
this.
me alive.
Yeah, you'll never get
Oh,
me, bastard. Um, but yeah, yeah, man. What a what a strange environment. Yeah, but it's so full of life. It's all full of life. And like in a land full of like planned obsolescence and living in a like that's another thing. It's like, oh man, we're buying these things. You know what planned obsolescence is, right? For those of you guys, people
where
that
they
don't
make
know,
things that break on
they
purpose.
make things of
Yeah.
yeah, yeah. The Apple phone is like the iPhone is like a great just oh my God. What a great example of that. It's so crazy. Anyway, but everything to say, yeah, they make things in order, right? You know, that not the air fryer, but the Instapot actually went bankrupt because it was such a good product.
Oh no,
But
they made a terrible business move, didn't they?
yes, they did. They made
Oh,
such a good product that they ended up losing money. And like,
uh-huh.
and it's such an amazing thing. So as soon as I heard that, I went out and got one, and I'm made great. But aside from that, I can't tell you how much I recommend the Instapot and the fucking air fryer. Anyway, it's just I'm a fucking dude. I'm obsessed now.
So
But
you mentioned something about that I thought was interesting, the land of the square. So how, modern society we live in straight rows, straight lines, squares.
mhm,
And a lot of
mhm,
people, when they're thinking about starting a garden, what's the first thing you do? You go try to find a square spot or
mhm,
you dig
yeah,
a rectangle to build a garden
yeah,
because that's what we've been taught to do. And that's what
yeah,
our modern farming practices, like large farms, they just make straight rows and rows and rows of crops, but the reason they do that is because it's easy to harvest with machines,
yeah,
mostly with
exactly.
machinery.
Mhm.
But you're right. Nature does not ever do that. Nature would never have a bunch of the same exact plant growing in a row.
Never,
No.
never, and like when you see these people who are into like super into permaculture, which I hope to one day, and you watch how they build their food forests and stuff.
Hmm.
It's it looks like chaos,
Hmm. It looks like a
but
mess.
it's yeah, it like especially at first, but like as you see it come to fruition, it's like holy shit, this is amazing. Like and like how well it does. It's just it's so great. We've really missed out on a lot of really cool shit, man.
We've been lied to our
We've been
entire
lied
lives.
to
Our
our
entire
entire
lives.
lives.
Yeah,
Yeah, man. Yeah, but you know, we're getting it back. We're getting it back.
we're trying.
It- It's really cool. Yeah, yeah. We're gonna have to, like they're gonna have to stop doing a lot of the farming, the ways that they're farming now. Uh, they're just gonna be forced to have to do that due to the fucking soil conditions and changing climate and everything. So there's gonna have to be something. Um, so they're gonna have to figure out something, and that's another thing that's so crazy when you realize like, oh, the soil's dying. Yeah, man, they used it all up. It's like it can die. It can just become, you think about the Dust Bowl and how during those times that was just nothing could grow. There was nothing like the ground had been it well for several reasons, but
Purged to dirt.
yeah,
We killed the
Yeah.
soil enough that it turned into dirt again.
Yeah, and you can't grow anything in it. And it seems that it's hard to understand that, uh, especially if you think soil and dirt are the same thing, if they seem synonymous to you as it does to a lot of people, as it's done to me. But like understanding now, it's like, oh, you sucked it all up.
Mm.
You used it all up. You killed the soil and you gave it nothing but chemicals. Oh, you dirty fucking dumb bastards. I know we've talked about this before. I don't know whether me and you or like this, whoever, but like it's so crazy, like to hear people make an argument about like, okay, yeah, climate change exists, but it's always existed, and there's nothing you can do about it. It's like, well,
Wrong.
I can tell you one thing you can do about it, not blow up a mountaintop, you dumb motherfucker. You know what I'm saying? That's a good start. How about not dumping fucking toxic fucking materials into your water? That's one thing you might be able to do, Mr. fucking Smarty Pants. You know what I'm saying?
Sorry, DJ. You keep
That's a
moving
good,
your head side to side and your hair is flopping from side to side.
no,
And
sorry.
it's perfect. No, it's perfect. No, I
I'm
agree. No, keep it out. No, don't cover it up.
trying to be more respectable these days.
Why? Why?
Because I'm trying
There.
to demolish myself, the sense of self. All forms of identity must go. I'm going to be walking around in like a white tunic and a shaved head with ashes on
You
my
know
head.
what? You are you are destined to become the cult leader that you're destined to become, DJ. I guarantee you, if you shave your head and you walk around in a white tunic, you will have followers. I will be the first one, and you will have more. Okay. Oh
Yeah.
my god.
But I won't
Oh,
even know. I won't even know anything. I'll just be a leaf in the wind. Y'all be
oh,
following a leaf in the wind.
great.
Don't do
Sign us
that.
up.
Don't do that.
Oh my goodness. So, yeah, so that's the difference between dirt and soil, the quick and dirty
Mhm.
version of it.
Yeah,
And
yeah, yeah, yeah.
DJ and I are both very enthusiastic. We're both sincere people, but we are not experts by any means. So if we say something wrong, we're sorry. We're just medium smart people who get very excited
Yeah,
about things. But if we said
yeah.
something inaccurate, just let us know. But don't be mean about it because I'm kind of sensitive. I don't know about DJ, but I am. So we're trying
Oh,
our best to bring you accurate information. And if we misspeak, sorry.
I
I
like
think,
pretending like I'm gonna tell you the best thing to do is like don't ever get offended if somebody's something. Just make sure you're being like, oh, apologize for it and stuff like that. Make them feel as bad as possible for being a dick. Just be like, just fucking make them feel guilty and terrible for it. Don't clap back. Just be well. That's what I do to Drew,
Mhm.
and it always works.
Does Drew try to make you feel bad?
No, uh,
Drew, sick.
that's me
Oh,
long conning Drew from the
oh,
hill. Yeah, yeah.
okay.
Anyway,
All right. So dirt versus soil. There's the very, very quick and dirty early version. We'll probably talk more and more about it. But essentially, soil has a microscopic ecosystem.
mhm.
Humans are part of a macroscopic ecosystem. What's the term for you can see it with your eyes?
Ooh, yeah, yeah, macro, yeah, for sure. But like, we're also part of the micro. Ooh,
Oh,
yeah, wow, man. It's like once you realize that, like, that's what, that's what I'm saying. Like, eating the tomatoes, like, getting that back, like, putting it back in, what my personal waste and whatever, like, how that affects, like, it's wild, man. Breathing, how we're breathing, this, like, condensation. And it's like there's this really great comic out of Asheville. Their name is Katie Hughes, I believe their name is, and they talk about how we're all clouds, and it's really great.
we're all
It's
clouds. What?
yeah, yeah, like how we're breathing and like how this condensation, like how we create clouds and like how this goes back up into the air and the air turns. It's great. It's a great joke. It's a great, smart, hilarious joke, and they're smart and hilarious and great. As a
Oh
matter
my
of fact,
gosh. What's their
I'm
name
gonna
again?
tell you, their name is Katie, you can find them on Instagram. It says, "Whoa, it's cloudy," and they're all about being a fucking cloud, and they're great. They're just great. They're just a great comic and a great all around person, a
Oh,
nerd, a fucking nerd. But
I love it.
yeah,
Yeah.
all my trans friends are the biggest dorks in the world, and I
Oh,
love it
God
for
love
them.
them.
I
Yes.
love it. I love it when my trans friends like dork it down. And it doesn't matter if you're talking about clouds or guns or war. They have the
Yeah.
ability to make shit so nerdy. Like it's great. It's great. And Katie's no different. They're fantastic.
Okay. Katie
Anyway,
Hughes.
let's
Wonderful.
see. I said, well, oh, it's cloudy.
I need to hear more about this
On
cloud.
Instagram.
You know what that just made
Yeah.
me think of? Did you know? Okay. So you're right. We breathe out CO2, but also
Yes,
condensation.
yes, yes.
Like we breathe
Right, right,
out
right, right.
moisture, so to
Yeah, well,
speak.
you can see it in the cold. Yeah, right, exactly. And then
So
that gets sucked up into the ground, into the sky. Okay, right.
how much, okay, how much fluid do you think we breathe out in 24 hours as humans? Because I know the answer to
Ooh.
this.
You
Speaking of
do?
nerds, yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
nerd. Yeah, dork it down. Let's hear it. Yeah, let's hear it.
What do you think, though?
How much fluid?
Yeah. Do you
In
breathe out?
gallons or in pints or what?
It's not gallons.
No.
Yeah, it's 1 cup.
I'm an
One
idiot.
cup.
1 cup?
Yeah, in
Wow.
24 hours, the average human will breathe off 1 cup of water, so to speak. So, like, yeah, if you go on a mirror and you can see, you can write on a mirror. So 1 cup in 24 hours is about the average amount of fluid loss that we have from breathing.
Wow.
Yeah. And that's important when you're a nurse and you have to pay attention to how much fluid people are taking in and putting out, and you have to take
Right.
that into account, all that stuff. Yeah.
That's crazy.
Yeah. And gross.
Wow. Yeah, it's pretty gross.
It is. Yeah. So, yes, humans are certainly part of an ecosystem, and you're right, we are part of a microscopic ecosystem.
Uh, oh, for sure. Ooh,
So, what
man.
do you think about after you die? Like, have you had any thoughts about what you want to happen to your corpse when you die?
I think it all depends on how I die. And I have been thinking about this and I've thought about it a whole lot. Like there's lots of different things. Like I think what'll probably happen to me, like say like if it's the end of life, I'll definitely be like a hospice and it'll be a thing where I'm at home and just get pills, and and every hour or whatever, take one or whatever with a couple of highballs or whatever. Probably not that though. Probably something tastier than that. What's a tasty drink that you can take with morphine or whatever? Take yourself out. What's a good drink? I don't want any alcohol.
Mm-hmm. I don't know, root beer, cranberry juice,
Ooh, root
whatever
beer
you
is a
want.
good one.
Yeah.
Ooh, I'd like a good homemade root beer. If I could order some from, there's a great place at Silva. Or ginger ale. Nice, nice, nice. A nice ginger ale morphine cocktail.
Okay.
And what's a good like put on something some either rad music or something?
Mm-hmm.
Who do you want to go out with? Maybe the Beatles White Album. That seems like a good album to go out to. It's great vibes. Grew up on that album. Not a huge Beatle fan, but I do love that album. Um, Subject to change. Um, but that's what I'm going with right now.
Okay.
Uh,
So this sounds like your plan for if you know that you're dying. If you
yeah,
know that you're dying, you want to go on hospice
yeah,
and do it your way, which is what hospice is all about. They want you to,
right.
if you said, "Hey, I want to listen to the Beatles album and I want to have ginger ale," they would support you in that.
And y'all slip me a morphine about one every hour. You know what I mean?
Okay, so
Until
here's the thing. Let me talk to you about morphine. So yes, morphine is the gold standard for when people are on hospice.
uh-huh.
But it has a reputation that there's misconceptions about it. So hospice
Okay.
does use morphine because it's cheap. It's a cheap medication. And here in the United States of America, unfortunately, we have to take that into account. Number
It's not
two,
cheap on the street. God damn. Are you
no,
telling me that
no.
it's not? It's cheap. Are you telling me that
Yes,
it's made manufactured? Oh man, fuck this
yes.
government.
It is very cheap to manufacture. For now,
Yeah.
I don't know about what's going to happen with climate change and like the opium fields and where we,
Right.
where we
Oh
source
shit,
this
I've
from.
never even thought about that.
Yeah,
Holy shit.
yeah.
Okay, what about Dilaudid? Can I get some like K4s or something like
You
that?
can get all kinds. So it morphine's the gold standard that we'll
Okay,
usually
sorry.
start with
Yeah,
for
go ahead.
most people. But if for some
Mhm.
reason morphine's not working, or if a person can't tolerate it, or they have an allergy to it, we can certainly try other medications, any of them, um, like Dilaudid or fentanyl. We usually try to only use oral medications or like a transdermal medication. We don't try to give people shots if we can avoid it. We don't want people to have IVs or have to be giving them shots when they're on
Sure. No, yeah, to be
hospice.
clear, I'm trying to kill myself. Be
That's clear. Yeah.
okay, okay. All right,
So
cool.
hospice cannot help you with that. That is not
No, I'm
hospice's
not
role.
asking. Yeah, right.
Um, but it sounds like you're talking about death with dignity or medically assisted suicide, or you're talking about just taking matters into your own hands, which some people do.
Well, sure, but with like my homies there, well, with
Right.
Dre and like, you know what I'm saying? If I was to find out, hey man, hey buddy, you got like 6 months, I'd be like, all right, here's what we got to do. Let's
Mm-hmm.
do this here, and it would be like, jump into bed, take the stuff, listen to some music.
Mm-hmm.
I don't think there's any movies that I'd want to watch or anything like that on the way out. I could imagine like, putting like a fucking TV on for background noise. I'm sure a lot of people do that, just like have a TV on in like the living room or whatever.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, but I wouldn't want to do that. I'd want to have some fucking maybe the band. You know what I'm saying? Ooh, yeah, that might be bad too. The band or White Up. Well, no. When we get there, we'll decide. Anyway,
Okay.
so go ahead about that. So go ahead.
So
Morphine is gold.
yeah, morphine is the gold standard because it's cheap, readily available for now.
Mm-hmm.
Asterisk for now. It works great for pain, obviously, but it's really, really good for shortness of breath. And shortness of breath, although not necessarily painful, is a very distressing symptom for a lot of
Sure,
people. And so
sure.
we utilize morphine because it's excellent for relieving shortness of breath.
Okay.
A lot of people, we talked on the last episode about how most people get onto hospice way too late, like way really close to the end of their life. And
Mm-hmm.
so there's a misconception that, like, oh, when you go on hospice, they come in and they give you morphine and then you die. Like, that's what a lot of people perceive hospice as being. And so then they get nervous thinking that hospice is going in and purposefully killing people, which is not what we do. That we would be in jail if we did that.
Sure, that sounds like
Right.
propaganda.
It is, but unfortunately, a lot of people think that because that's what they've seen is, oh, grandma went on hospice. The hospice
Then
nurse
she
came in and gave her
immediately
morphine
died.
and she
Yeah.
died. Right. When really what happened was grandma was dying for 6 months before that,
Yeah, you.
but wasn't getting on,
Yeah.
the proper services or didn't have like the true information about her options. So yes, we do utilize morphine, but not everybody on hospice has to use it or wants to use it, and they don't have to. So please don't think that hospice just brings you morphine and you can, and then gives it to you to make you die on purpose.
Oh no. No. I was just speaking about my own personal end of life thing. That what I don't think that.
I know you don't, but I'm just saying
Oh,
it for
okay.
anybody listening.
Right on.
Um, but some people do have the feelings that you have, DJ, where they're like, bring me what I need, and then I'm gonna take the amount of medication that I feel like I need. And what
Yeah.
you need, quote unquote, is different for every person.
Okay.
So,
So yeah, because like I wouldn't want to just pass out and then wake back up.
uh-huh.
Like, how would I know? Like, what's the right thing to do? Just keep on.
Oh, I can't tell you that.
Fuck.
No, I'm sorry. I can't tell you that. It's no. But when I say people, for every
Cool.
person, it's
That's actually
different.
really cool. I respect the fuck out of that. I respect the
But
fuck out of that.
okay, so every person has a different idea of what comfort is going to be to them. So some people they would prefer to be in more physical discomfort, but much more alert and awake. And maybe some people don't really like the way that certain medications make them feel in their head. like sleepy or loopy. And so those patients might choose to back off on some of their comfort medications, and that's perfectly fine if that's what they want. Other people are like, give me the juice. Like I want to be totally comfortable. I don't care if I'm sleepy. I don't care if I'm loopy, and then anything in between there. Oh, DJ, you froze. And your hospice team is going to